Rafa. So the first two videos, you learn how to do real numbers as a solution set, and about no possible solution set, but a point as a solution. And now you're going to learn about particular regions as a solution. So this is the first problem, which is x squared plus x minus 42 is more than 0. First, you have to factor it, which is equal to x plus 7 times x minus 6 less than 0, which means that the x is equal to negative 7 and x is equal to 6. These are the two critical points, or two things that x can be equal to, so that's x1 and x2. Unlike the previous video that Professor Bond did, there will be 3 regions and not just 2. So the 3 regions will be drawn like this on the number line. So if this is the number line, this is where 0 is, and negative 7 will be marked here, and positive 6 will be marked here. So anything on the left of negative 7 will mean that x is less than negative 7. Anything between negative 7 and 6 means that x is a number that is in between negative 7 and 6. Anything that is on the right of the line of 6 means that x is higher than 6. So basically, you just have to get one of the equations here, which is x plus 7 and x minus 6, and make a graph out of it. So if it is lesser than negative 7, and then you add it by 7, it will be negative. And if the x, and as long as the x is here, then you subtract it by 6, it's still going to be negative. And if you multiply the 2, which is basically this, it's going to be positive. Then you do the same thing here. You get a value from in between these two and then replace the x with that. Plus 7 and minus 6, which is positive and negative. You multiply the 2, that is going to be equal to negative. And then again, for the last one, for 6, it has to be greater than 6. Anything greater than 6, which is added by 7 and subtracted by 6, will still be positive. And if you multiply the 2 positives, it's going to be positive. And then if you look at the previous equation, the equation that we're using for this, it shows that the equation is greater than 0. So you're only allowed to get the regions that have a value greater than 0, which is positive. So you get these 2 regions, and then after that you have to. After finding out what regions should be your solution set, you have to draw another number line, which is going to look like this. You put the same values of negative 7 and 6. After that, since the two regions, which is less than negative 7 and more than 6, are the solution set, you have to shade this to show that these are the only possible answers and nothing in between, just these two, and draw darker arrows so you know that anything beyond that can also be possible solution sets. And so this is supposed to be what the solution looks like. X is supposed to be less than negative 7, or x is more than 6. So the second problem will be a bit harder than the first one, and instead of it being on the standard form, you have to simplify it first and remove all of the parts. You have to simplify it to ax squared plus bx plus c, which is equal to 0. So first it's going to be like this, then you have to multiply this 2x times x minus 3 and 4 times 2x minus 6, which is equal to 2x squared minus 6x with less than or equal to 8x minus 24. Then you have to transpose, which brings the other 2 to the other side, and if you add similar numbers or coefficients, it's going to be 2x squared minus 14x plus 24, which is less than or equal to 0. And then you have to simplify it again because x is not supposed to have a number beside it. So you're going to divide everything by 2, which makes the equation x squared minus 7x plus 12, which is less than or equal to 0. After that, you have to do the same as the previous problem. You're going to factor it, which is x minus 3 and x minus 4. So the 2 critical points again are 3 and 4, positive 3 and 4. So you draw another number line with 3 and 4 here. Write down what x could possibly be, which is x less than 3, 3 less than x, which is less than 4, or 4 is less than x. You put it into computation of x minus 3 and x minus 4, which came from here. And then you do the same thing as before, which is just draw the graph and put if it's possibly negative or positive. Then you look at the equation again if it is less than or more than. Since it is less than, you're going to use the region in the middle and not the 2 other regions like before. And then you have to draw the number line again, which is the solution set. So there's going to be 3 and 4. The only thing you have to shade is the one in the middle, since that's the only possible solution set. And since the sign is less than and equal to, the circle, which is the number, also has to be shaded. So the final solution is this one. small summary for the second problem, which is supposed to be harder. Basically, you just have to simplify it to remove the parentheses, which is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. And then you bring it all to one side and make sure that there is no number beside x squared. So just divide everything by 2 or whatever the numerical thing here is. And then you just factor it to make it equal to this and find what the x is equal to, the 2 critical points. Draw the graph again and then find what region you need by looking at the sign from here. After that, you just draw your graph here, shade the region that you need, and write your solution.